I'm ending it early. I'm sorry. I don't really like to count that. How you doing,
Hey,
Kathy?
I'm doing great. How
Yeah.
are you, Thomas?
I'm doing pretty good. We got a
Awesome.
couple people in the chats right now. Juliet is here. So,
Mhm.
from Coach Juliet Edens and Sandy. How I had to have guessed that it was Sandy that was here with us. So,
Okay.
yeah, so this is pretty exciting. It's funny how you wait for certain moments and then they come, and then when they come you think like, okay, that came too quickly, or you think that it took too long, and I think with you, I think it was both. I think it was like, it just felt like it took too long for this day to come. But the bad thing is it's like Christmas. It feels so long. It feels too long for Christmas. But then when it's there, it's like, oh my God, it's already, like this is.
That's right. I know. It creeps up on you, doesn't it? And the
Yes.
funny thing is, just before this call, like 5 minutes ago, I get this Amazon, of course, a delivery. Well, this delivery was huge because I get my water off Amazon because it's heavy.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'm carrying all these bottles of water in, great big cart full. But I said to him, I said, it looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
You're dragging this big thing.
You should like
Mm.
tell him to wear a beard and
Yeah, well, he might have had one actually, but it was dark. Yeah.
Oh God. All right. So I mean, you have a pretty interesting life as it is, but I'm guessing you have a pretty interesting history too of what brought you here as well. And I know you've told your story bits and pieces here and there. Um but I guess, like, what brought you, like, what convinced you that carnivore would work for you? Like what.
Well, I think it's gonna be, it's might be a long story, but I'll try to bring, the abridged version, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, don't even know where to start. Um, okay, it all started with a workplace challenge. So I was managing these two teams at work, and they all wanted to do something for their health. So I thought, okay, most of us wanted to lose weight. I was one of those. So at the time, I think I was 256, 286, maybe somewhere in there, quite a bit, like quite up. 286 was my highest. But anyway, so we decided to do this workplace challenge, one team against the other. If the person met their goal, they'd set a goal for the week. For most of us, it was weight loss, but for some, it was something else. If they met their goal, fantastic. We'd praise them, wonderful. If they didn't, they had to put a loonie into a jar. A loonie, I'm in Canada. We have crazy money. Yeah, it's kind of loony, whatever. So we have crazy money, but they had to put $1 into the jar. We ran it for 12 weeks. At the end of 12 weeks, the winning team would get the jar from the other team. And then they could spend it as a team however they wanted to spend it. Well, I thought, I'm leading this thing. So if I'm leading it, that means that I have to do something to lose weight, but I didn't know what to do. I'd already tried absolutely everything, all of the typical kind of diets that are out there, including WW, which I became a lifetime member of, but then I went back up because I thought, well, I lost it now. Now I can eat, right? So I decided to try something crazy, which was Atkins induction. So it was under 20 grams of carbs per day. And I did that for a long time. I lost all my weight. I actually probably went underweight a bit. And then around 2015, I got divorced. So I kept it off for quite a while, like almost 10 years. And then I still was doing Atkins induction, sort of, but now I added in products, all of these products that were on the market, you know, this bar, Atkins bars, and this and that and the other, and I ate those. In fact, I overate those, but whatever. I started to gain weight. Then it came to the time of, you know, the worldwide event that happened in 2020, let's put it that way, where everybody was getting sick And I noticed that the majority of them that were very sick had about 4 comorbidities. Many of them were overweight. And I thought, oh, good grief, I'm overweight again. So I need to do something. And I thought, I know what to do. I'll go back on Atkins. So I did. The only thing is, I didn't really want the vegetables. I bought them. At the end of the week, I'd be throwing the vegetables in the garbage can. And so I thought, well, I'm wasting a lot of money throwing these vegetables in the garbage can. So I just kind of stopped eating vegetables. And I'd been following, oh, Dr. Westman for a long time, and Dr. Berry, because Dr. Berry was on those all the low carb stuff before. And so therefore I noticed that he had gone carnivore. And I guess it was maybe, I don't know how long, year and a half or two, whatever it was. So I had been watching him and I thought, I guess it's okay. If it's okay with Dr. Berry, it's okay with me. You don't know. He knows what he's doing. I don't. So anyway, so I just decided to eat meat or animal products, not just meat, animal products. And I did take the majority of that weight off. And so that's been pretty good. Since that time, I've gotten a lot of support from a lot of places online. And I've learned something in every group that I've been in. I'm going to maybe talk about some of those groups.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, I mean,
Yeah. The first one I went into was Steak and Butter Gang, and she's wonderful, love her. Um, and I learned about priming, which is good. But if you're going to do priming, you also have to do fasting. For me, fasting wasn't working very well. I got into the priming okay, because I'm one that can overeat. But I didn't get into fasting very well. So that wasn't overly successful for me, let's say, but I did learn. The one thing that I really learned there was from Coach Steven, and that was with the resistance bands that he had. And I thought, huh, resistance bands, yeah, that's a good idea, So I pick up a little idea here and there.
right.
Then I was in, well, I've been in Dr. Lisa Wiedemann's a couple times, and she's really good, and she's exploring a lot of other things, circadian rhythms and all kinds of exercises and this, that, and the other. She's just a wealth of knowledge. Kelly Hogan, love the girl. She's excellent. And then who else? Oh, Maria and Craig Emmerich. Well, Maria,
Okay.
she makes this egg white bread. I just finished making my egg white bread for the week this week, and I like it. I bring it to work. It's easy, and I don't know, I don't feel like I'm deprived in any way.
Right.
And I eat it with butter. I don't eat it like just egg white bread, but it's a good vehicle for my butter. Then Joan Ifland, Dr. Joan Ifland. So she works in food addiction recovery, basically. So I did become a food addiction recovery advocate, and I do work for Joan Ifland at this time. Ketogenic Woman, that's Anita Breeze.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm still in her group, and we talk and we learn, the new things that are out there that are happening. A lot of Dr. Boz's stuff we've been talking about lately, and I've tried, the egg challenges and sardine challenges and all that kind of thing. But I really like beef, so
Yeah.
that's how life
I
is.
don't think I could really do the challenge per se.
Oh
I can
yeah,
eat sardines, I can eat eggs, but
yeah.
to actually have it like consistently and have it be the only thing I eat, no.
Well, I did 3 days, and it was successful. I got my ketones up high,
Well, I'm sure
and
it works. I'm just saying I just couldn't do it, you know?
yes, yeah, I get you. It's not on my to-do list really.
Right.
And then healing humanity. So I wrote a course in healing humanity on food addiction, and so that's available. within their community. And then I took the nutritional advisor certification, and that's with the Nutrition Network. That's Tim Noakes. I mentioned the food addiction recovery. I became an advocate with Jonah Flint. I became an insulin IQ coach with Ben Bickman.
Wow.
Dr. Kiltz right now has a coaching class on, and there'll be another one in what, 10 weeks or 12
I
weeks
don't know how
or
often. Yeah,
somewhere?
I'm on the second course right now.
Yeah,
I mean, I've already passed, but I'm just taking
yeah.
it, I think like most of us are. Um,
Right.
yeah, I guess
But
it's
it's
every
about 3 months,
yeah, I guess it's every
approximately
11
3 months,
weeks, basically, every 11, 10, 12 weeks, depending.
approximately, yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend class anymore because, as it turns out, I'm going to be working on Wednesdays
Uh,
after work, like a second job. And to top that all off, I teach on addictions at a college. I teach child and youth care with addictions, which is a huge issue out there. And I believe that the whole addictions issue that we have in our streets, in our schools, wherever you go, is actually rooted in sugar, carbohydrates, and processed foods. Because we start our kids off with sugar within hours of being born. And then there's so much encouragement, for whatever reason, for people to eat certain foods that are considered to be healthy. But I can assure you they are not healthy. They are destructive to our bodies. And this is kind of funny, but just before this call or early this morning, whatever it was, sometime this morning, I was cleaning my cat litter box. So my cat litter box, I use horse pellets for it. And what happens with these horse pellets when they get wet, they just disintegrate. And you just kind of clean it out. The disintegrated sawdust gets flushed down the toilet. It's no big deal. It's the same thing that people are eating in their cereals, in their bars. It's technically just a cellulose. It's sawdust. It's sawdust. They're eating sawdust and then pooping it out. I don't want to pay for sawdust for that. I'll pay for it for cat litter, but I don't want it in my body.
no,
There's no nutrition in it.
no, it's
So,
wow.
so with carnivore, talking about sawdust and all of this bulk that you consume. One of the issues, so I was healed of a number of issues on carnivore. It's not a weight loss thing, really. A lot of people lose weight on carnivore, but it is a healing modality and it's optimal health, which I think that we're all seeking is that optimal health. And you certainly can lose weight on it, but that's not what I got. What I got out of this was healing from a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to go through that list. It amazes me, and it will probably amaze you too.
Yeah.
Starting with acid reflux. Okay, so I had severe acid reflux, which is gone. And I used to have to sleep. I could never make it through a day without napping in the afternoon. I was so exhausted all the time. Well, now I have energy, so I don't need to have that nap. Although Dr. Kiltz recommends having a nap in the afternoon, I don't need one. And if I did, I would take one. I move easily, no problem with joints or anything, whereas I used to have a lot of pain in joints, especially knees. Funny thing is, body odor. Like there isn't any. There's no body odor, or even when I poop, it doesn't smell like before. Before it was bad. Are you smelling through your arms there, Thomas?
I need to test it out.
Well, if you've got
No, no,
somebody
you're
near
right.
you that
I was just joking.
loves you, they're going to tell you. My gums, my gums used to bleed every time I brushed my teeth. There would be bleeding. I was just used to it. I thought, oh, I guess that's normal. And they don't bleed at all anymore. And let's see. Well, new clothes. I used to take a size 26 and I went down to a size 14. I had hemicrania, or have, I don't know, hemicrania continua. So that what that means, a headache on one side of my head all the time. But that is really, really diminished. I have learned that there are a couple things that would trigger that, so I need to be careful with that. Some of the sweeteners will trigger that. Blood pressure. My blood pressure was extremely high, and I took two medications for that. I normally was running about 185 over 120, 115, something like that. That was like my norm. And that's normal. Now, some of these new blood pressure values that they're saying that's what we should have, I personally believe that these new values that have come out are something that the pharmaceutical companies want us to do. And I know that there are some online, some of the influencers that think, oh no, you've got to do that. So they're quite low, I think. So I'm happy providing that I stay under 140 over 90. And so I have been. It's usually about 135 over 85. I'm like, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Cold sores. I used to get cold sores all the time, and I'm not getting cold sores anymore. I have had, I think, one or two start over the past 5 years. So I've been doing carnivore for 5 years at the end of this year, and I've had one or two start, but they just don't really go anywhere, which I'm happy about. No more sunburns. Now my kidney function, my EGFR went from 56 to 94, which is great. I was pre-diabetic, but now my A1C is 4.8. This one's really kind of funny, and it's a very recent one. My eyesight was minus 2.75 in both eyes. My eyesight right now is minus 0.5 in one. Sorry, minus 0.5, yep, in one, and minus 1.0 in the other. So that's a tremendous improvement. I had a heart murmur that disappeared.
Wow.
And this is the one that bothered me the most, though. I mean, you hear all that, but this is what bothered me the most, was the chronic constipation. I mean, serious, serious stuff. I'm telling you, hard stuff.
God.
No, yeah, I used everything.
No
I
play on
mean,
words there, but yeah.
yeah, I used everything. I used, all kinds of laxatives, enemas, increase the fiber, whatever they tell you to do. No, the best thing is take out all the fiber, and then things work, and it's not hard.
Mhm.
So it's not bleeding when you go kind of stuff like it used to be.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yes. And vasculitis. So I once had a diagnosis of vasculitis, but then they said, no, it's not vasculitis, it's capillary fragility, whatever. Um, but I haven't seen any of that either. There's no evidence of that. So what happens there? It's like this petechiae. My whole legs would break out in this petechiae, these little purple dots all over the place. But if I'd been walking or something like that, and it's just not there. I also had a Morton's neuroma on my right foot, and that's gone. It's just gone. I didn't use anything. I had these insoles from an I don't know, orthopedic doctor or something, and I never used them. I didn't like them. I don't like stuff like that. I don't take supplements. I don't want supplements. Um, I do have some. I have vitamin D3K2 or D3K2. But I don't take it very often because I never think about it. It's much better to get out in the sun anyway. So I do try to get the morning sun and then sun throughout the day if I can. I'm in Canada though, and winter's coming, so I don't know how much sun there will be. So I probably will take that over the winter time. And that's it. There's no medication or anything, which I'm very happy about. So I'd say that's about That's about my story.
Wow. Wow. So we
Hmm.
got a couple questions in the chats. Um, I'm guessing you may know this one, but I'm not sure. Sandy is asking, how old is Cindy? So I didn't know, so I thought maybe Cathy would know how old Cindy is. I'm guessing they're asking. I'm guessing she's asking how old you are.
How old I am?
Yeah, that's
I'm
what I'm guessing. I'm sure.
okay. I, but Cindy is a nice name too.
Yes,
I'm 67 and I'll be 68 in November. So just about 68.
amazing, amazing. Um,
Yeah.
and then Jamet is asking sawdust in what foods? And thank you. Like, what foods did you see sawdust in?
Okay. Well, it's not listed on the list as sawdust. It's listed on the list as cellulose. So it's a fiber. So when you see something and it says added fiber, that's basically what they're doing.
Which
Yeah.
is sad.
Right.
There's really no other word for it, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you, Sandy. I see that one. Cathy, you look wonderful. Oh, thanks.
and Sandy's a great person. She's a nice lady. She really is.
Oh, she is. I mean,
She's,
anybody that says that is nice. Oh, she's
yeah.
nice.
Yes, people ask questions. I think you do some teaching, don't you, Cathy?
I do. I teach on child and youth care with addictions.
Right.
I also do carnivore coaching. So for Insulin IQ, Dr. Ben Bickman.
Hmm.
I'm a food addiction recovery advocate with Joan Ifland, either privately, like in there. So people sometimes sign up for the program, and then there's some extra things they can purchase. So they can purchase one-on-ones with me or groups if they want. And I also do my own coaching from time to time. I don't really have a lot of clients, so I'm busy. I don't have a lot of hours because I'm busy working at the college, and then I'm taking on this other job as well. Um, so it's just helping people with their with brain activities, people that have dementia. So that's again one-on-one.
Wow. So Juliet is asking, and I'm
Oh yeah,
curious too, what
I
about your book?
forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. I've got it here though. Where is it?
I probably would have done the same thing. So,
I'm thinking about everything else. Mind you, I got a full tummy because I just ate my dinner before this call. So if I burp, you'll know what it's from. But I'll tell you what my favorite food is too. So it's called the Kingdom Way. Yeah, yeah. I am a pastor, by the way, and I do believe that, you know, I actually believe that God has led all of us to carnivore, whether we know it or not. But I believe He led me to carnivore. So this is the Kingdom Way. It's a 12-week spiritual weight loss, basically, and life energizing program. So it's not only about nutrition. In fact, there is only one chapter that's on nutrition, and that is chapter 5. And chapter 5 talks about all of the food plans. So I do have meetings every Thursday night, but I record them and then I post them when I post them in my Facebook group. If anybody ever wants to come in there, you just have to contact me before you can come in. I don't open it up to everyone because I've had a couple of issues that I'd rather not repeat.
yeah.
So there's 12 weeks. Now, we were going through this book. We were going through it online every Thursday night for a few years. And then finally, this time we've decided rather than to go through this book again and discuss it and talk about it, how it applies to our life and so on, I'm doing the book Biblio by Jordan Rubin and Dr. Josh Axe. Now, that particular one, they are not carnivore, but the people in my group there are not carnivore either. I do a carnivore group at 4 p.m. on Thursdays, and that one's just private. It's not even recorded. And anyone that wants to come in that, you may do that too. Again, just contact me if you're really interested. But and they're free. I don't charge anything for those groups because I found so much healing. I just want to help others so that, they too can find healing. It's not my job, you know. So anyway, the chapters in the book. The first one is confronting excuses. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I'd imagine you have. Excuses. Well, it's my daughter's birthday. Maybe I should have just a little piece of that cake. Or excuses, I did so well on that exam. Man, I need to celebrate, you know, or, stuff like that. Or I just can't. It's my genetics. Or, I'm stressed, this just this one time. I'll start again tomorrow. We've got excuses on excuses, basically. So that's what the first chapter is about. Now, all of these relate to the Word of God, to the Bible, right? Every chapter. The second chapter is about goal setting. So, how do you get somewhere if you don't know where you're going? Think if you were planning a trip. Well, I live in Canada. So if I was going to travel to Texas, everything's big in Texas. That's what we think. And there's lots and lots of beef, right? So, but anyway, if I was planning a trip to Texas, I would have to have a map. I'd have to make a plan. And my goal would be to get to Texas. So looking at our goals, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in a year from now or 5 years from now? If you're doing what you're doing now, will you get there? But if you change something just even a little bit, every choice you make, if you're making that choice towards your goal, towards where you want to go, you will get there. And we make many, many choices throughout the day, little choices, big choices. So make those choices towards your goal. Write down where you want to be or draw a picture. I know in my little journal, which is another technique that you could use. See if I can even find that. It's in here somewhere, not too far from the front, I don't think. I did a little vision board in my journal, which I usually had marked. Can't find it. Isn't that very interesting? Oh yeah, there it is. It is marked. So that's my little vision board for me. These are the things. That's just that's my
Okay.
family. And then on this side, walking daily. Africa. Africa is really important to me. I'd love to live half in Africa and half in Canada. Faith, number one. You got to have faith. Faith that you can do this. Faith that it's the right thing to do. Faith that there's more than just you in life. Hope. So many times when we fall into the trap of addiction, any kind of addiction, we've lost hope. It's like, oh, this is never going to work. It's just useless. I just may as well eat whatever, right? Or, that sort of hopelessness
Yeah.
that tries to creep in. And
Why
those
should
are
I
all
keep why
lies.
should I keep trying if it's gonna keep
Why should I keep trying? Right.
yeah, I know.
Love. The Word of God says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. So we want to love God and we want to love others. But in order to love others, we have to love ourselves.
It's true.
Take care of ourselves. You only get one body. And if you don't take care of it, then things will happen. And I know Thomas has experienced some things happen to his body. I have too. So not just the list I gave you, but thyroid nodules. And this is a little bit off track there, but thyroid nodules. I still have them. Now, I don't know if you know, but brassicas are certain vegetables. All vegetables have toxins. All plants have toxins, that we know. You can look it up on the World Health Organization. You can find all the toxins in all the plants if you want to. Excuse me. So brassicas are things like cauliflower, broccoli, what do you call it? Cabbage, Brussels sprouts. I ate lots and lots of those when I first went on Atkins induction. I ate those for 10 years. That was the only vegetables that I ate. Well, as it turns out, that brassica group, they block they block the iodine receptors in the thyroid. Well, if you block the iodine receptors in your thyroid, what are you prone to? You are prone to a goiter. And thyroid nodules are kind of like little goiters. So, in other words, I caused my own problem.
Right.
I, unbeknownst, I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what they did. I thought I was doing the right thing. And all of you too, when you were going on those diets, the
Of course.
cabbage soup diet, that was good. I made cabbage soup
Oh,
all
God,
the
I
time.
remember the cabbage soup diet, yeah. Unfortunately, I
I
remember it very well.
well, I liked it,
Yeah,
but
I liked it too, I just didn't like what it did to me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, the gas, and I was living in an apartment. They could smell it way down the hall when I was cooking it. My kids used to tease me about that. But anyway, the thing is, it caused damage to my body. I did it all the time. Now, okay, maybe if you had it once in a blue moon, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe I just had too much of it. But what I'm saying is that we can cause a lot of damage to our bodies without even knowing it because we're following the advice of what people may have thought was the right thing to do, but maybe it's not. So getting back to my little vision board here, uh, love, loving ourselves. So treating your body with love. You love other people. If any of you are parents, you would do anything for your children. But how about yourself? And I know you've all heard, put your own oxygen mask on first. How can you help another if you haven't taken care of yourself? And peace. You just want to, live in peace. And with that, there's happiness, there's joy, there's excitement for life. I don't believe that we were intended to live in depression, and I know there's many causes for it, or that God intended for us to live with really any mental health conditions, but that we would have a sound mind and a sound body, that we could do things, and that in everything that we do, everything that we think, and every word that we say, that it would bring life, that every one of those would glorify God. And this word at the bottom I wrote down, it's Ikegai, Ikegai or something like that. I don't know. It's a Japanese word anyway. And it's your reason for being. All of us are on this planet for purpose. There is a reason for being. And to find out what is your reason. We always look at what's your why? What's your why for doing carnivore? Well, what's your why for why you're here on this earth? There is a reason for you being born at this time in history because there's something that you can do. There's a certain group of people that you can speak into that I can't. I won't be reaching them.
Mhm.
I'm not there. I know we're online and we're talking to a lot of people, but this message, even today, for some people, it's going to be like, I get it. And then for other people, it'll be like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing
Right?
it in the chats, a lot of people responding and literally absorbing it, you know? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And which is awesome.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out what your ikagai or whatever that word is, this is what you do. You look at, what do you love to do? I love to teach. I know that. I'm hoping I can get back to Africa next year. I'm going to do some more teaching there because I love Africa. Um, do what you're good at. What are you good at? Think about that. Write it down. What am I good at? You know? And what does the world need? Or the people that you can reach out to, what do they need? So give a thought to that. And then we have to consider income. I know for myself, I still need an income. There's no retirement in sight for this girl. What can you be paid for? The best thing, and I tell my students that too, do something that you love to do as a career. Who wants to go to work every day that you hate it? No, you want to go to a job that you thoroughly love. You want to be there. It's like, I can't wait to go to work. It's such a different feeling than, oh my goodness, I got to go to work today, right? It's just a different feeling. So look at your passions, look at your profession, the things that you like, your vocation, and kind of pull it all together. And then last but not least on that list on my vision board, of course, I've got my kids that I pray for regularly. 8 kids, 13 grandkids, 1 great grandchild so
Whoa.
far. Yeah.
Wow.
And just in case my son's listening, happy anniversary to James and Sarah today. They're James is my baby. Don't ask me how old he is. He's 31.
Well, if you have great
31.
grandchildren, yeah.
It's hard to keep track of them all. The way I keep track of them all, I just write on my phone in the calendar the year they were born, and then I calculate it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd be updating it all the time. It'd be way too much, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I just kind of like, okay, well, we celebrated the 20th last year, so I guess this is 21. And then I double check. Make sure I was right.
Okay. Well, it is 25 this
Yeah.
year, 2025,
No, I meant
and
not the year, I
oh,
meant the age,
oh,
but
oh, the age. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's how I calculate it. Yeah, he was born
yeah.
in 94,
Oh,
November
okay.
30th,
Well, my
94.
nephew is super easy. He was born on March 4th, 2007.
Now, why is that super easy?
3 plus 4
Oh,
equals 7.
see, we all think differently, Thomas. Yeah. Well, it was somewhat easy because I only have to remember one birthday for 2 kids because
Okay,
James is a twin. He's a twin B, and Josh is his brother, and he's a twin A.
okay,
But I have another set of twins that are 10 years older. So Josh and James are identical twins, and my other twins are 10 years older. And then I have several others. So it's it's quite the crew.
yeah. Oh my god. Wow. So, uh Gemma and Sander are throwing you out a lot of compliments, so I figure I'm trying to, like, put
Uh,
them out there whenever I see them.
hey, thanks, Gemma. Gemma,
And she says you have a very nice voice, like, very
thank
calming.
you. Thank you. Yeah, when I was being interviewed by Homestead Howe, he says to me, he says, "Are you always that calm?" I actually am very calm. Most of the times I'm pretty chill. I need to
Yeah.
be
Oh, yeah, you are.
a little bit more exercise motivation for that. That's my that's where I lack a little. I lack.
And Sandy here, she calls me her carnivore son. So,
Oh,
yeah. Because she said I'm the same age as her son, so I think that's why.
oh, that works. That
Yeah.
works. Yeah. How
Hey,
old are you, Thomas?
I'm 53.
All right. Okay. How old is my oldest? She was born in 78. So whatever that works out to be,
Oh,
47.
so she would have to be like, what, 48 or something like that? 47, 48? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
47.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
48
That was
next year.
very quick math in my head. So, because my
I
sister,
know.
she just turned 50. She was born in 75. So yeah, minus 3 years. So 70,
47.
47. Yeah.
Yep. 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 Now the reason I really wanted to go low carb doing Atkins too
Mhm.
is that everybody in my family has or had diabetes. So my father, he had diabetes, and then developed cancer. He had gone blind in both eyes. He couldn't tell whether it was day or night. He saw nothing. He couldn't see any light or anything. And so he'd said to me when he was dying, he said, Cathy, he said, make sure you monitor your blood sugar. So from that point on, I didn't eat sugar because I thought, well, can't eat sugar, can't eat sugar, can't eat sugar. Of course, I learned later on that it's not just sugar, but carbohydrates turn into sugar in your body as well. So, you know, and I didn't drink anyway because the church that I went to, it was like, you don't drink alcohol. Okay, no problem. I don't drink alcohol. No problem. And so that was a real blessing to be with that church. I'm glad I learned that early. Unfortunately, though, I have a daughter who has diabetes. It's really pretty significant. And she had a heart attack, the 47-year-old last year. She also had a stroke. She's been off work now for quite a while with some sort of like rheumatoid arthritis, her legs, a lot of pain in her legs, the neuropathy, the circulation's very bad,
Sorry.
and all of those kind of things. My mother had diabetes too. My mother with diabetes struggled with a lot of mental health problems, which we know sugar and carbohydrates will contribute to mental health problems. There's who Dr. Eads online, she or Chris Palmer encourage a low carb diet because it helps your mental health. Our brain is mostly it's fat. There's a lot of fat up there. And in order for the connections, right, the covering on the connections in our brain are fatty. So we need to have fat, saturated fat in our diet. So in order for our brains to function well. Anyway, my mother wound up committing suicide. Mental health problems. I don't want to see any of these things happen for anyone. And my brother, only a few months ago, so my brother was born in 62. It was pretty young, whatever that works out to be. You guys do the math. But
He's
anyway,
73.
yeah, 63. So he,
Oh, 63. Okay, I'm sorry.
63. So he had diabetes very, very badly. He had lost both his feet, kind of like yours, Thomas, but his was both. They took a little bit and a bit more and a bit more and a bit
Yeah.
more.
Well, yeah,
He
I mean, it
lost,
wasn't all in one shop, you know, it's,
right.
you know.
And then he lost his vision. He developed a cancer. It's called a multiple myeloma. It's
Mhm.
like a leukemia type thing. And he passed away in the spring, April 24th, I think it was. So I'm still dealing with his estate. But, you know, diabetes is a killer. Sugar is a killer. It's like a slow, torturous suicide. And but that's not what we're here for. We're here to have a life, an abundant life, life, to enjoy every day that we have. And if you want to do that, then you have to do it without sugar, without carbohydrates, without alcohol. Because alcohol, like with oxidative priority, it'll be used up in your body. It's like a sugar in your body, but it destroys your liver, destroys every cell in your body, and so does the sugar. Destroys your mind, destroys everything. And it's just not worth it. You know, you're more valuable than the chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's true.
besides,
It's true.
get yourself a steak. And if you can't afford a steak, then have hamburger. Have a
Yeah.
hamburger. Just eat the meat, you know, and leave the rest. It's not worth it. Um, Which brings me to my favorite meal. My favorite meal actually isn't a steak, like most people. I love steaks, I do, but it's ground beef. So what I usually do, I take, I don't know, a slice of bacon or two slices of bacon, whatever, and I chop it up in the frying pan and fry that up crispy. Then I put in a pound of ground beef and I just fry it all together till it's all done. I don't eat raw meat like Dr. Kilt suggests. God bless Dr. Kilt's.
Yeah, I have a hard time eating
How
raw burger to tell you the truth, but,
I tasted it. My mother used to eat that once in a while. If she was
yeah,
making something with ground beef, she'd just go
yeah, raw
like,
burger. I mean, I can eat it rare, but not raw, you know?
right. There's a difference, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, a steak, I don't mind if I,
steak I can eat.
usually-
Yeah.
yeah, but I
It's a different
still
texture.
want it cooked. I
Right.
like it on the outside cooked, on the inside probably
Yeah,
medium or something like
that's
that.
how I like
But
it too.
anyways, so I fry up my ground beef and I just eat it with fork. I know when I was working, I would take this ground beef to work. And I remember my coworkers would say, I've never seen somebody that just eats ground beef. And I said, well, you have now,
Like,
you
sit
know,
back and enjoy the show because 'cause you're gonna wa
enjoy the show. Talk about coworkers. Yeah. Now, I love my coworkers, but they don't understand.
No,
Let's put it that way. They just don't understand. And so I was working in a place and the majority of them were Dutch, and I'm of a Dutch heritage.
okay.
So we've got some specialty dishes, like any
Mhm.
nationality has specialty dishes. Well, here it was around Christmas time, and there's specialty dishes. And the one girl, she's got one, and she says, here, try some. I can't remember what the dish was that she had, but anyway, she says, here, try some. And I said, no, thank you. And she said, come on, just a taste, just a taste. You know, I said, no, thank you. And then she took a spoon to my mouth, and I said, I guess you didn't hear me.
Yeah, why would you
I
do that?
said, I said, no, thank you. I don't want any, yeah, because she really thought, oh no, you got to try just a taste. She was insisting that I just try a taste. And I thought, oh my goodness. But that was nothing. I had someone else. Now, I think she was making oily bowling. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, so here she is. It was her mother making the oily bowling. It's like a timbit, a little donut hole kind of thing,
Mhm.
cooked in oil, just flour cooked in oil, whatever. It's good tasting, destructive to your
I
body
knew what you
or
meant,
mind,
yeah.
right? So
Not good
anyway,
in the sense of being good, it's good in the sense of being
but
tasty.
this coworker wasn't working that day. She was at home. She phones me at work and she says, "My mother wants me to ask you if you would like some oily bowl, and she just made some, and I could bring it over." And I said, "Oh no, thank you. I don't eat that." And she says, "I told her that, but she told me I need to call you and ask you." Oh my goodness! So it's not even my coworker; it's the coworker's mother that
Right.
thinks I should have that.
Yeah, people just don't understand. That kinda reminds me of the story that you've probably heard, but, with the guy that came to my apartment, like, knocks on my door and has a large pizza in his hand after knowing I'm carnivore. Knowing I don't eat carbs, he actually brings a pizza to my door, and he's like, "Well, I got this for you." I'm like, "Well, first off, I don't even know you that well." We've never really talked. Just because he knows I'm carnivore, he decides to give me a pizza, so I'm like he's like, "Well, I'm wasting all this." I said, "Well, put it in the refrigerator and you eat it." Like, and if you throw it away, you throw it away. I don't care. You know? Like,
Yeah.
I pretty much said to his face, like, "You're the idiot that bought the pizza," when you knew that the
And when he knew that you don't eat that.
Right. Yeah. It's like if I was an
Wow.
alcoholic, would you buy me a case of beer and then
Exactly.
expect me to say, "Yes, I'll have the beer," if I'm trying to be strict, Like, no.
Or if you had an allergy to wheat, would you buy a pizza that has a wheat crust
Exactly,
and give it
like,
to someone?
so it's people,
They can't get
it's
their head
funny
around it.
how
Hmm.
people have these, like, inner thoughts, and they find so many reasons to eat the foods that are just not that doesn't work for them, you know?
Yeah.
And, like I had, really quickly, I'll mention this, and then, there's some questions in the chats that we'll read too. But, my classmate, my coworker, the assistant manager there, he's in really bad shape, and he was like, like, "I'm close to death, and, I'm, like, really bad," and everything like that. And then he goes to me, he goes, "Do you think if I, like, get vitamins that would help me with my health?" I said,
Mm.
"It will help maybe in the beginning, but it's your nutrition that has to be fixed." No offense, because he eats, like, a horrible diet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's like, every single time, he's like, "Well," this is one of the excuses he made. He said, "Well, my dad used to force me to eat, like, if I didn't eat everything off my plate, then he would say I can't eat until I finish everything off my plate. So it made me not
Yeah.
wanna have pork chops in anymore, or any meats." So I'm like, "Well, you gotta get over that," because the
Mhm.
guy's, like, 33 now, and, his parents got divorced, I guess, from the story, and he's, like, almost, like, 20 years, 25 years, his father hasn't been an influence on him. So,
Yeah.
there's a time when you have to go and be like, "You know what? I can't keep on eating this junk," and saying, "Hey, this is my life." You just can't keep on doing that. And
Right.
eventually you have to say, "Hey, I need to eat I need to eat the ground meat, or I need to eat the healthier style," even if it is a
Mhm.
vegetable, and, I said, "The first thing you need to do is get out of your own head." You
And
know?
think about why do we eat? We eat to nourish our bodies.
Right,
We don't eat for entertainment, although we have been doing that,
right,
and that's what's been destroying us.
yeah.
I
Like,
did see some questions. Can you
yes,
maybe get
which
to
I'm
some,
gonna
especially
read
the one
right
on
now, and also to just let you know, here's one right here. So Gemma is asking, "Kathy, do you think any illness are genetic, as I lost my soulmate to cancer?"
absolutely.
Yeah,
There is a genetic component, oftentimes, to cancer. Now, there's different causes for diseases too. So carnivore, although it does heal, it is a healing protocol. It heals a lot. It just doesn't heal everything. There can be other factors involved. So if you were to be living in a place, just for example, where there was a lot of radiation, or you were dealing with toxins all day long without proper PPE or something like that, and you develop cancer, all the beef in the world just might not fix that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So there are other factors that can affect our health. It's not just one thing. So there's our mind, our thoughts. Do we have a lot of gratitude? Community? Do we have a good community? What about where we live? Are we exposed to, all of these, the EMF, all of these
yeah,
rays coming from the Wi-Fi and the electronics all the time? What
yeah,
about the lighting that we have? What about the circadian rhythm? That affects our health. Do we have good sleep hygiene? Are we putting chemicals all over our body, sunscreen and lotions that are toxic? What are
mhm.
we doing? What about your hair? Are you coloring your hair? If you're coloring your hair, well, Thomas doesn't, as we know.
Right, I actually do color it, I color it clear.
Okay, clear. Oh, that's why I couldn't see it, Thomas. You've got long hair, and I never noticed. Anyway, so but a lot of those things will affect our health too. So there's a genetic component oftentimes. Now, just because there's a genetic component, you may have had some DNA testing that says, oh, you're susceptible to this, that, or the other. That doesn't mean you're going to get it. That's the other factor. So if you're susceptible to a certain heart condition. So maybe I was susceptible to the heart condition, perhaps. I don't know. Don't know. But anyway, if you are, it doesn't mean that you're going to develop that. I'm obviously very susceptible to getting diabetes. It runs in my family rampant.
Mhm.
You know, there's so much. Um, and I don't have it.
Yeah.
I was pre-diabetic, but because of lifestyle changes, changing my diet, I don't have it. So there's a lot of a lot of different things.
Yeah. And doesn't Dr. Barry say that genetics loads the gun and the diet pulls the trigger?
Yeah, and I would say not just the diet, but the lifestyle.
Oh, oh, even better.
Mhm.
Yeah, even better. But so, like, yeah. I mean, and if I'm not mistaken, I think when we go like if we're sick and we go through the chemo, we go through the radiation, I think that carnivore kind of helps with that, and so does fasting. A lot of people that fast, they say if you
Right,
fast like with the radiation, it actually makes it a lot easier to deal with.
right. Now, some of you um, may remember Jeff DeProsperous. So
Yes. He comes to my
DeProsperous,
mind. Yeah.
right. I was in his group. So I would meet with him and his group weekly. And he was doing so much for his cancer. He was strictly carnivore. He was fasting for a couple days before his chemotherapy, a couple days after, and the day of the chemotherapy. He was exercising. He was taking a whole array of nutritional supplements. He was ice bathing. He was doing everything. He was a real fighter. So we can do everything and still succumb to whatever it is. But sometimes we don't. We don't know the outcome. Each one of us is going to die. Just know where you're going after you die. That's
Right.
what I would say. Make sure you know that. But this is what the Bible says, Isaiah 58, 8, 58 verse 8, 8. It says that our health will spring forth speedily with fasting. So if you want to recover your health quickly, yeah,
Yeah.
then fast. And now, if you're eating just sardines, it's like a modified fast. Even if you're just eating fat as a modified fast, I see there's a lot of conversation going on with mammograms and everything. Yeah, that's a real controversial one with the mammograms. But I definitely hear you
Yeah.
in that.
Someone put this, I'm sorry, Lisa. The carnivore whisperer's name is Lisa. So she's saying that, and again, I'm sorry about this, Lisa. This has been a hard month. 10/9 is an anniversary of my first husband's death, and 22 years ago. Then 10/5 is our actual anniversary. So I'm sorry that, I know
Oh,
it's hard when but thankfully next week we'll start November and hopefully start a new emotion for you, you know?
yeah. It's always hard to lose someone that you love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think about my mom, I think about, like, a lot of people that have passed away.
Mhm.
So, um, like, even my own birthday's kinda hard because my grandfather and my father both died in September, you know? And my grandfather was born in September, same as me. So, I just like, I celebrate it, but at the same time, I also think about them, you know?
You know,
I
my
know
th-
how it is. I think we all do.
I I think well we all do, and if you don't, you will.
Right.
My son died back in 1977, a baby.
Yes.
And for the first few years, it was really, really hard. But time does have a measure of healing to it
Oh,
if
yeah.
you let it. And it has to do with our mind, like both for that or focusing on the loss. Well, I don't have this anymore. So I think a lot of it has to do with mindset because it is part of the human experience. It's extremely painful, but our loved ones don't want us to live in that pain. They
No,
really don't.
yeah,
I know I wouldn't want my kids to live in that. To remember me once in a while, that'd be nice, but don't live in it.
right, and it's funny that, when I do remember them, even my mom now, I remember more of the good times now, the good memories,
Mhm.
and it's amazing how, eventually they become, a part of you, you know?
Well, they are part of you. Absolutely. That
Well,
person
no, I
is
mean,
part
like,
of you. Mhm.
automatically, you're
The
not
memories.
thinking of the morning, like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god, she died," like, I can't believe it's more
yeah.
like, I
They'll
remember back
never
when I
see
was
her.
10, we
Yeah.
had this big birthday party, like, and it was
Oh,
just,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
um
yeah. And sometimes those good memories are sometimes even more painful because they remind us of what we don't have,
right, that it's gone now.
right? That's gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when someone passes away, we have to remake our lives, especially when it was somebody that was very, very close to us. Same likewise if you were really close to someone and their relationship split for whatever reason, and but you felt you were close to them. They might not have felt that, and that's hard too because now you have to remake your life. Or if you have a serious injury and you grieve the loss of toes, a foot, a leg,
yeah,
eyesight,
it took a
you
while.
have to
Yeah,
remake your life.
yeah.
And that's hard. And you grieve that. Even with going from the standard American diet to carnivore, many of us will grieve our favorite dessert. We'll grieve that. It's like, but I miss that, or I miss going out with my friends. We used to go out every Friday night and we would do this, that, and the other. Or if you were involved in alcohol or whatever, there's a measure of grief that goes with that too. It's different, but
Yeah,
there is a measure of grief
yeah,
that goes
not that
with
I
it.
definitely know. When I was up until probably my 30s, 40s, every time I had my birthday, I'd celebrate, my mom would get at first it was like a big cake, and then after a while I couldn't eat that much, but we would get an ice cream cake or a
Mm,
slice. And she would also, when she lived in New York, she would go to this special place. I forget what the name of the place is. Like a really famous cheesecake place. And she would get like some kind of like fancy cheesecake, and that would be my for my birthday. Now I haven't had either one of them since definitely since I turned carnivore, you
yeah.
know. And do I miss it? Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna lie. But
Hmm.
and I miss it more on my birthday. You know,
Right.
you get, but it's not something
Yeah.
I have to have. One of these
Right.
days I like to see about making. I'm just very lazy when it comes to making special deals. I just like I throw the burgers in the air fryer or on the skillet, and if it's not, I just that's pretty much, and just add some tallow or add some bacon grease, whatever it is, and so that way I have a little bit more fat than what I put in there,
Yeah.
and you know, and that's it. So to go make ingredients and everything like that, it's like, okay.
But if people want to do recipes and they're really into that, you can do lots of carnivore
Oh,
recipes.
yeah, well, that's what I was saying, like,
It's
Bella had the
there.
carnivore cheesecake that she made even with a crust, carnivore crust,
Yeah.
so,
Yep.
like, I
Yep.
wouldn't
You can do
mind
that.
one of
Yep.
these days, I think I might try that. I might try Kilter's ice cream too.
Yep.
And I might do
Yep.
them both together, cheesecake and ice cream.
That's right. You could do that kind of thing. I actually follow, sometimes I'll pick up a recipe from Maria Emmerich or from Ketogenic Woman. Those are my two favorite for recipes. And there's
Okay.
so many of them, and I have tons and tons of their cookbooks and so on. And yeah, but I'm not a big recipe person. Give me a frying pound, a frying pound. Give me a hamburger and
Give
a
me a
frying
frying give me a
pan.
pound of frying pans.
Yes. A pound of hamburger, ground beef, and frying pan, and a couple slices of bacon. I'm good to go. And I like it just like that with some salt, if I want salt, even. Otherwise, don't even bother with that.
And I also wanted to mention, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I pinned your channel in the top of the YouTube chats, and
Oh, okay.
Sandy mentioned that she just subscribed to your channel. So,
All
yeah.
right, Sandy. Good to have you. Yeah. I
Whether or
haven't
not
been
there's
doing a
others, I
lot.
don't know, but Sandy mentioned she
That's okay.
so,
I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately, only because I'm so busy.
yeah.
But I did make a comment on the people quitting carnivore. I mean, honestly, they're not quitting carnivore. You need to listen to the actual stories. They've added a couple of things because they feel like their body is healed and they can. You know, that's really what happened. And Dr. Kiltz, come
I was
on,
gonna
he's
say, are
eating
we talking about a certain
fish.
person?
Well, no, Dr. Kiltz, he added fish. Like that's
You're right.
still carnivore,
Well, still, everybody
right?
was saying, like, how he's, adding, adding carbs and stuff like that. I'm like, well, the only thing I gather is he's adding fish. That's not adding
Fish.
carbs, really.
Okay. I, yeah, and he had some, I don't know, raw dairy. Oh yeah, there's a little, but it's still carnivore. And and then Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, she's experimenting a bit and trying a bit of this, that, and the other. There's others that have maybe added a little bit of fermented foods, like a tablespoon of whatever you call that stuff, sauerkraut, something like that. You know,
Sauerkraut, yeah, sauerkraut.
yeah, like whatever. Hey, if it works for you, do it. You know, we're all on the same journey. We want health, the best health that we can have. Like I said, we can't fix everything. But even if you have a chronic illness or a critical illness, eating and nourishing your body properly, fasting, you know, if that's what you feel like you need to do, getting in a good community, it is helpful
Yeah,
on your journey.
yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, that being
Yeah.
said, I did have pickles about 2, 3 weeks ago. I
Yeah.
finished the jar, so I haven't bought any more since then. But I actually did that because I was watching a quick video with Dr. O'Mara. Don't watch him normally, but it's kind of like you watch one video and it leads to,
I
and I just wanted to see what he had to say. And I was like, yeah, because you know what it is, I didn't feel like I was losing visceral fat. And in the thing, he mentions about how you need the microbiome, you need the bacteria and everything like that to help you lose them. So I'm like, okay, let me try it because I need to lose visceral fat.
yeah.
So, um,
Well, okay. There's been times that I've done that, that I've added just like about a tablespoon, really, uh, sauerkraut or something. I don't like it. I don't like
just
vegetables,
enough to
and
put it
besides,
in, like to get the
and
feel.
I'm concerned really with them because of they are a brassica and the thyroid nodules. Even though they're fermented, I'm still concerned about that for myself. And then I've also had a slice of a pickle, and if I go out with other people and there's vegetables there, I'll oftentimes put a little bit of vegetable on my plate just so that it's not an issue. Even if I don't eat them, put them on the plate because nobody notices after that. Again, a couple tablespoons, that's it. Now, if I'm out with my family, I won't because they all know, or my coworkers, whatever, they all know.
Yeah.
But if it's someone, you know, that you don't see very often, rather than getting into the whole discussion, I do that sometimes. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, like, okay, like you get Dr.
Yep.
Kiltz, okay. He adds a minimal amount of carbs, basically just the fish, like we said, and maybe some, and people that add the fermented
Have
vegetables.
carbs.
Here you have it where people are essentially no carbs, right? And then all of a sudden they add a little bit, a tiny amount. And then there's like this big controversy thing. But if you listen to Bart K, which I again,
Yes.
I mean, I can't really watch
Mm-hmm.
everybody, but I've seen bits and pieces, and
Yep.
when something I remember, and I try giving that person credit for what I remember. And he says, and so does a lot of people, that carnivore is 70% meat, 70% animal,
Right.
and the
Mm-hmm.
other 30% is a healthy, plant, like whole food plant.
Right.
So as
That's
long
what he
as you're
says.
not
Yep.
going over that 70, as long as you're not going over that 30% mark, you should be okay.
And
Yeah.
I think that you need to be honest with yourself,
Yeah.
right? Because some people they're great with that 70%, but other ones, maybe they're not great with
You
that
need to be a little stricter.
70%.
Yeah.
And they need to be more like Frignal Freedom. They're right.
Yeah.
Right, like
Dante.
Dante.
Yeah.
So Dante, he eats only lion, or Michaela Peterson, only lion. So that's just ruminant animals and water and salt.
Yeah.
And some people don't even need the salt. Ruminant animals and water. So we each need to be honest with ourselves, know why we're doing what we're doing, and then just decide
Yeah.
what we're going to go with. And don't fear experimenting a bit. Just don't, yeah, be careful be careful, I guess. If it's Don't experiment with,
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookie.
Oh yeah. I've already mentioned before that when my sugars are really, really low, there's a couple times I had to, get an Oreo from the candy shop.
Yeah.
But I I would never do it. I would never go to the grocery store and buy the Oreos because then I would
Mm,
know I'd eat the whole package. So the reason why I like the candy shop is because they sell it one at a time. So I'm not going to, and when you have like when you an Oreo cookie costs about like $3 a cookie, that's pretty
yeah,
expensive if you think
yeah,
of that,
yeah.
you
And
know.
I think there's been times that I've had a bit
But
of
I can do it. Some people can't. Not everybody can do that.
no,
I do have enough control that I can do that. I just know
if
where
your
my
sugar
barriers
was
are.
low,
Right. Like I have to abstain for the most part, but I know where my barriers are. I know that
right,
if somebody offered me like 12 cookies, I'd be eating all 12 cookies. I know that it's behind a glass case. I know like I can't break the glass case. That'd be theft.
well,
You know?
you took it medicinally,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, my
You
sugars
said,
were at like 50. I think the first time they were at like 53, and the other time they were like 56 or something like that.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
it was really low, and I felt it. It wasn't like
right.
just
Yeah, yeah. So I do have from time to time um, coconut milk or coconut cream
okay.
because I do make my own ice cream. So when I make my own ice cream, I don't do it like Dr. Kiltz. I take 4 eggs, raw eggs. Maybe that's not the best, but I do. I figured, I've been eating them my whole life. Why stop now? And and then I just freeze them with water. And then I have a Ninja Creamy, and I have a little bit of sweetener in there, stevia, which is like, oh, you can't have stevia. No, I do have put some sweetener in that.
Okay.
And then once it's done, you freeze it 24 hours. I spin it one time, and there's a hole in the center, so I fill the hole with heavy cream. Give it a second spin, and I've got some vanilla in there too. And then that's it, and that's my
Yeah,
ice cream.
that sounds good. That sounds really good.
Hmm.
So, and I think I might want to answer this question as well, but I'm going to have you answer it first. Um, but Kathy, do you believe the mind controls the body? I do. If I say don't eat that, I don't. So do you think that our minds can keep us from
Our minds can. We have a Because basically every decision that we make comes from our mind,
right?
right? When you're tempted, so a temptation comes to you, say, eat the Oreo cookie, Kathy, eat the Oreo cookie. Now I have a choice. I can think about that thought, not recognizing it doesn't have to, it's not my thought, it's a thought coming to me. So let's put the little devil on this shoulder and he's saying, eat the Oreo cookie, eat the Oreo cookie. Now I have to decide, am I going to listen to that? Or am I going to let that pass and I'm going to listen to the other voice that says, that's not a choice towards your goal. Remember your goal. It's
Right.
not a choice towards that. Do you want to do it? Think about it first.
Yeah.
Like that. In fact, taking a pause and thinking about it before you actually move on it, because we are so automatic. Like my car, I swear my car went on automatic through McDonald's. It just did. It went through a drive-through. I'm like, I would get through and I'm like, why did I do this? I've just gone through drive-through again. How did that happen? Right. Um, But we do have, if we take a pause and just think about it for just a moment, this thought that came to me, first of all, do I want to act on the thought? Right. So, yeah, the mind does have the power to control the decisions. We
Yeah.
just don't always recognize that.
Yeah. And I mean, in my opinion, okay, I agree that the mind does control, and I think because it's my mind that made the rules of what went. Like I never bring it to the house. I never, it's like I said, going back to what I was saying about the
Right.
Oreo. It's only at the candy shop. I only buy one at a time, stuff like that. But other people can kind of influence it too. I always say like people's attitudes, people's way of being with you can be infectious.
Sure. Sure.
And
The people, yeah,
you know,
places, smells,
yeah,
your microbiome,
yeah.
all of these things are sending messages. The media, YouTube, or
Oh yeah,
television, radio, neighbors, celebrations. So all of those are messages that come to us,
yeah.
messages from within or
Unfortunately,
messages from
YouTube
without.
sometimes. Yeah.
That's right. And so we have to decide, am I going to act on this message that's coming to me? And how am I going to respond to this message? What am I going to do?
All right.
Right. And then again, keeping in mind, we only got to chapter 2, and that was on goal setting. Then I'll just go quickly through the chapters, and then I'm going to be quiet.
Oh no, you're
Um,
what?
okay. The chapter 3 is on portion distortion. Again, that has to do with deception. It's like, yeah, all I had was just all I ate was a tablespoon. It wasn't a tablespoon. They ate half the bucket of ice cream. What are you talking about? Or whatever it is, right? So portion distortion. The next chapter 4 is on gardening. You think, what does that have to do with anything? Okay, so it has to do with pulling out the roots of your overindulgence. Where did that root come from? Where did you get that idea? Where did it come from? And it could be things that were passed down in your family or generationally. So it's kind of breaking those generational curses. Chapter 5 is the best food. What is the best food for you? As we were talking about the carnivore diet, carnivore lifestyle, is it 70% carnivore? Animal products is good for you, or is it 100%? What is it? And how much fat and how much whatever? Should you include vegetables or not? So in this chapter, chapter 5, we look at the biblical diet, rainbow diet. I know a lot of people will throw at me, they'll say, well, what about Daniel? That was a fast, okay? That was Daniel's fast, right? He just wouldn't eat the king's meat. So what it meant, it was his rich food, all the rich food. That's what it meant. He didn't eat that for 10 days and 21 days the other times. But it's not a lifestyle. Number 6, that's Pharaoh's control versus freedom. So here, this is about the mind. Now, Pharaoh, if you remember the 10 plagues of Egypt, if you ever saw the 10 commandments or whatever, the 10 plagues of Egypt. And I wrote this chapter when I was on the plane coming back from Kenya one time. And I look at every one of those plagues and how it relates to our battles. See, this battle happens in the mind, basically. And the last battle, the last plague of Egypt was the death of the firstborn. What that means is it's kind of dying to ourselves, to our will, to our flesh. So, yeah, dying to our fleshly desires. In other words, denying them. Deny your fleshly desires to eat whatever it is. But it has to do with all sorts of battles that are in the mind, the self talk, you know. Chapter 7, our vision, purpose, and destiny, that I sort of alluded to when I was talking about my vision board in there. Why are you here? What is your purpose? And how are you going to get there, kind of thing. Chapter 8 is law and order, because law is following diets. Carnivore is not a diet, actually. It is a lifestyle that we enter into. Because if you're following just a diet, like I did with the cabbage soup diet, whatever, it's for a period of time. And then it's over. And then you do whatever you want to do, kind of thing. It goes by rules, but carnivore doesn't have rules. as we can see, we're all a little bit different. I still drink very weak decaf coffee. Some people don't. They say, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, well, okay, whatever. I don't need a carnivore card. Um, so, law is following all the rules, diet rules, but order is just having freedom, really. But freedom has boundaries to it. So I can eat this, but I don't cross that boundary. And in that chapter, we actually write our own mission statements. In chapter 9, it's about love. Love covers a multitude of sins. It is about your ego versus altruism, learning to love yourself, and things like that. Chapter 10 is on bumps, roadblocks, stumbling, and pride. No matter what your journey is, every one of us, we stumble from time to time. So you can stumble, but then you have a choice. Are you going to get up again, or are you going to stay down? It's like when you're riding a bike. You might have fallen a number of times when you first learned to ride, but after a while, you became a really good rider. Maybe you were so good that you entered the Tour de France, which is the major bike race with professionals. But sometimes even in a big bike race like that, people fall off their bike.
Yeah.
So that's how it is with how we eat as well. And then the last chapter 11 is co-creators of our destinies. So we don't do this alone. We have a spirit, soul, body. Our soul is our mind, our will, and emotions. We have our body that we're looking after, but we also need connection. We need a spiritual connection with God, and we need a connection with other people. So we're co-creating. We're working together to create the life that we deserve. And then lastly, we just celebrate on the last week. We just celebrate all the victories. And that's what's in the book.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And I don't have the book, I have to admit, but I'm guessing can you get it off of Amazon? Is that
Yeah. It's
okay?
on Amazon.
What isn't it anymore? Yeah. So
The
yeah,
Kingdom Way.
anyway, and I know Juliet, I don't know if she's still in the chats or not, but she said she actually has the
WEIGH. Right. And the
right.
website is thekingdomway.com.
Right. It's sort of like a play on words. Instead of like way, WAY, it's
Right.
way as in like
Right. Right. The Facebook group, the YouTube channel, it's all the Kingdom Way. Yeah. WEIGH.
that's
Any more questions?
I'm looking. I thought there was one that I had out there. Oh, we already asked that one, so no. No. Anybody have any questions to ask or anything like that? Or even statements that would make Cathy feel good? Um, Here's one that I put out, but I don't know if you saw it or not. Sandy says that you give great advice.
Thanks,
So
Sandy.
okay. This was I have to this it was way outweighed my expectations. I'm so happy that you came on here today.
Well,
Um,
I'm happy you invited me, Thomas. Thank you
thank
for doing that.
you. Oh, no problem. No problem. Yeah. I mean, I know, I announced that I'm going to take a little bit of a break and like after I do Jen's interview. But that's just kind of get my mind clear and stuff like that. Sometimes breaks aren't just because you want to leave. It's just you have to kind of like stop for a second or a couple seconds and reevaluate everything you're doing, you know. And now that I'm working more often, you know, but I will be coming back strong in February, and also too, which is making me happy, is or excited, I shouldn't say happy, because again, just like I said to you before, like it's like almost like Christmas, like you're so excited that it's coming, and when it's there, it's like, oh, this is too fast.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, and I'm having two more great guests. I'm having Paul Mado. He's somebody I met on Amy Davis's channel, Key to Rock and Amy, and
Oh,
um, and then My Terrific Life, which is her name's Terry, but it's terrific with like Terri thick, in her
okay.
name. So hey Aaron, how we doing? And so I'm going to have them on. I'm going to have him on. Actually, my next live is going to be on the 28th, and then she's going to be on November 1st. And then, I know, bad drum roll. Um, I'm going to
Good try.
have, hmm?
Good try.
Yeah. I'm going to have my first doctor on here. Dr. Nelson is going to be here on November 4th. So
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty exciting.
Gotta
So,
say hi to Booby Goats. I
yep.
saw she won on Dr. Kilt's a little while ago. You won too the first time.
Oh, I've won a couple from Dr. Kills.
I haven't won yet.
Oh, really? No, I'm sorry. I've won a couple from Carrie Mann. I've won one thing from Dr. Kills.
Well, have you? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I can show. I won this.
Oh yes, yeah. I've got it
But
anyway. You know, when I hear about a book out
Gauntlet.
there, I'm the worst.
Ow.
I'm
Ooh.
like, while I'm on a Zoom call, it's like, oh, I can order that. I got to get that. I got to get that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just banged my knee on my desk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Wow.
It's like,
Well,
oh.
that
It's
can
like
hurt.
that
Yeah.
episode of Family Guy when he's like on the ground, like, oh.
That's kind of like when you get your elbow.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah. Like
goodness.
I
Yeah.
think I found my funny bone in my knee.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
but it's funny with the book there. I got it a while ago, back before we went to Boston. Yeah,
Sandy got a Kilts cup. That's what I want. I'm gonna get one of those, even if I have to buy it.
I know. No, but I was supposed to get my book signed, but when I went to it was supposed to pick it up in Boston,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to sign it right there while I was there. Well, the books never came.
Oh,
So, and then he was supposed to send me the book of him having it signed. But then he never did, so Ollie just had to send the book, so now I have to go to, like, I'm gonna have to do a meetup with him in it and just bring the book with me, and,
right. Yeah.
just have him
Yeah.
sign it, and then another person I wanna get signed is I have, Amy Hosp's,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
Voki's one of their books that, one of the
Yeah.
people in the chats actually bought me,
Nice.
so,
Mhm.
at least I think it was one of the people in the chats. I
Thanks, Janet.
apologize getting it
Love you
wrong.
too. All of you guys. All my carnivore family. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And I'm going to meet stock next year
Oh, yeah?
in May.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
exciting.
I know Lewis is going to, and a few people are going to Hack Your Health in November. And are you going to that or no?
No,
No, okay. I know a
not my
lot of
budget.
people. Jen's asked me when do I interview Carrie's wife. Jen Mann is going to be interviewed on my carniversary, which is January 1st, is when I consider myself starting fully carnivore. When I like actually went online and started going to the chats and stuff.
How long is that, Thomas? Is it a year, 2 years?
That would be, well, January 1st will be a year. Yeah. Of
A year.
full carnivore. I
Yeah.
was on and off for longer than that,
That's
but
fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fantastic.
yeah.
Wow. Anyway, are we good?
We're
Any more
always,
questions? Oh,
um, yeah. Oh, I see Rick's in the thing.
all
He's
right,
called
Rick.
Track Your Health. So,
Yeah, Rick's amazing.
yeah. So I thank you. Oh, um, just trying to think. Yeah, I'm actually going to be taking care of my sister's dog. My sister's dog. And the reason why is because they're actually going to France to pick up my niece that you actually met
Okay.
when you were on the live with me that one time with me, Aaron,
Oh,
and
I
Rick.
remember that. Yeah. Your
Yes,
first live,
yeah.
I popped on.
So,
Mhm.
she's actually in France right now, and she's going to school in
Oh,
France. She got her
nice.
scholarship, and she's in France. So I thought
Very nice.
you would like to hear that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna take care of the dog, and then they're going to do their trip for about 15 days, I think, or no, 10 days, from the 6th to the 16th, 10 days, I'm sorry. And my nephew said they're more excited about going skiing than they are really about going to France, but, you know. So I guess they're
Mhm,
gonna make a stopover someplace else.
mhm.
So I don't know how much skiing there is in France, so alright, well, it's great having you on here, Kathy. I again, I do appreciate this, and, well, I think it's time, since nobody else has any questions, and you've told as much as you could tell, right? So,
Brain's empty now. No.
I've drained myself out.
Yeah.
Um, we'll just end it. If you just hold on a couple seconds, I'll do my typical ending,
Well, I'm going
and
to say thank you, first of all, to you, Thomas, and thank you to everyone that was putting in so many kind comments. And I do wish you well, all of you, on your carnivore journey and on your health journey, health recovery, because I know that that's what God wants for you. He wants you to be in health, prosper and be in health. It doesn't mean to have tons of money. Health is, if we don't have health, we struggle,
yeah,
right? So we want to be healthy. And
I totally agree.
look at, and during this whole time, Rick has fixed his bobcat. That's a good note to end on. All right. Thanks.
Okay. So, love, live, heal, and just like me, just like Kathy, just like most of the people here, eat the meat.